on the Nets are you going to be if they lose like 5 straight games during the year?
I wouldn't be out. I wouldn't be out at all. As long as they make the playoffs, they'll be fine.
I feel like, though, with this team, if it starts to go a little bad, it can get really ugly real quick just with Harden and Kyrie.
That's the biggest question mark to me, and it's not Harden or KD. It's Kyrie Irving, because we don't know what the hell he's doing. Is he even going to play this season? Welcome, everybody. This is a special breaking news podcast. James Harden just got traded. And oh yeah, welcome to the Max and Juan cast. My name is indeed Juan. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Max.
What's up, everybody? It's Max. Juan, can I just say something before we start? I love this podcast. I literally have done everything I can. I mean, this situation is crazy, but I don't think it can be fixed. We're not even close to competing for a podcast championship. And all the other teams out there, I mean, there's a difference in these last 2 podcasts. We're just not good enough, bro. Okay? And it can't be fixed. Who do I sound like?
I'll be John Wall, bro. I'll be John Wall in that case. We've only done what? This is our 20th, bro. It's our 20th podcast.
I'm giving up, bro. I gave up. I actually, you know what's bad, bro? I didn't even come to the pre-podcast meeting because I was in Vegas with my homies. I was
Don't forget about the strip club.
I was there too. $100,000 in ones. Got some honey buns to the crew. And I don't know, can you edit that before every podcast of me saying, this podcast can't be fixed? I have done everything I can. I love this podcast.
Well, look, man, let's get right into it. James Harden has been traded. I want to hear these details because there's so much going on right now.
4-team trade between Brooklyn, the Rockets, Pacers, and the Cavs snuck their way into this trade. So the Nets get James Harden and the 2022 second-round pick from the Cavs. The Rockets, bro, are you ready? Because there's a lot. They get Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, Ronius Kirkix. I can't say his name. He's a 3-and-D guy from Brooklyn. And they get Brooklyn's 2022, 2024, and 2026 first-round pick unprotected. And then they can swap in 2021, 2023, 2025, and 2027. They get Milwaukee's pick for 2022, first round, and they get a future second-round pick from Indiana. Indiana gets Karis LeVert, and the Cavs get Jared Allen and Taurean Prince.
Jeez, that was unrehearsed, bro. Great job.
Thank you. Bro, oh my gosh. I think I'm going to take a water break. Yeah. How many? I don't even think you can tweet. That's like 3 tweets right there.
Oh, my goodness.
But look, before we get into winners and losers, let's actually talk about what we just made fun of. Last night, I watched the game. The Rockets got slapped. They were trash. They got destroyed by the Lakers. And then James Harden has that press conference. What did you think? Because I know you saw it.
Oh, my goodness. It was literally a cry out for help saying, get me out of here, please. I'm out of shape. I don't want to play on this team. John Wall sucks. DeMarcus Cousins can't play anymore. DeMarcus Cousins out here getting ejected. Nah, hey, look, to be honest, it was bullshit, man. I hated everything that he said. I feel like that was a coward way of going out. It was
bro,
so
call
public.
Out your teammates like that? Like, yeah, bro, have you ever heard of loyalty to your teammates? Like, what do those guys do to you?
They just
showed up and been working. 100%. Like, and then John Wall responds like, bro, it's been like 10 games and you want to give up. Like, I'm like, you didn't even show up for training camp. You got to make, like, people miss games and shit.
Yeah, you can only imagine all the tension that was in that locker room these last couple of weeks. It was probably really bad because obviously Boogie was like, hey, this has been going on before this interview. So it's no secret. He's been talking all this shit and he's been wanting out and he's making it public. He probably doesn't even talk to anyone in that locker room.
You know what's funny? That locker room's got a lot of characters in there. John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and James Harden. Like, obviously this wasn't going to work, but people were fooling themselves to think they were going to keep Harden. I think there was a report like 2 days ago or maybe last week that was saying Harden, the owners are getting more comfortable thinking they're going to keep Harden. And look what happened. Like, he did that whole press conference, last night, And less than 24 hours later, he's gone.
Yeah, anyone who thought that he was staying, well, me and Max said it, and almost every conversation we've had about James Harden, he is good as gone. It was just finding the teams to do it, finding the right trade.
I don't think it was ever a matter of if James Harden's going to get traded. It was always a matter of when he was going to get traded. So today there was reports Philly was interested. Brooklyn made the huge offer. I'm kind of shocked by how big the offer was for him, considering how discontent he was. I know he's got years left on his contract, but he didn't really drive down the price for him at all with just his behavior. Like, you think about when Dwight Howard got traded, he acted like an asshole too. All Lakers gave up was Andrew Bynum. I know Iguodala got traded too, but it wasn't like there was a million first-round picks traded. Or think about AD getting traded. James Harden didn't destroy his value. Kind of shocking.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's what, 5 o'clock right now, and we're 2.5 hours probably from when the trade just broke right now. So these are literally our initial reactions, and we haven't really got a moment to sit on it and really ponder on it. But I want to hear your thoughts on it. Who won this trade and who lost? Just initial reaction.
My winners are Steven Silas, the Rockets head coach, anyone who hates James Harden, the Rockets in general, and the city of Houston for getting rid of him. A lot of Houston winners in this trade for me. And I give a winner to the Cavs. They didn't really they gave up one first-round pick, and they got Jared Allen and Taurean Prince, two good players. And do you want to hear my losers, or do you want to give your winners first?
Yeah, my winners, I'm gonna give it to the Nets. My initial reaction.
What?
They got the superstar.
James Harden.
They got the superstar. Yeah, James Harden is an asshole. He babied his way out of Houston. He was a huge headache. He's a shitty teammate right now. But the reality is the Nets are a huge contender. And they were already a contender with Kyrie and KD. But this brings it to a whole nother level. And not to mention KD and Harden are reuniting a la OKC. But I see the Nets. They got the superstar in this trade. It's going to take some time for Houston to really see what they do with those draft picks. And with the whole Oladipo thing, they have John Wall there. I really don't know what they're going to do. Little combo guard action. I don't know. My initial reaction is Nets win. They got the superstar. They got James Harden. They got the trio. A lot of teams right now don't got the triple-headed monster right now. It's a bunch of duos out there.
Well, look, this is all I'm going to say. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant scream leadership to me, right? So that makes you confident that those two guys are going to keep James Harden in check. I mean, Kyrie hasn't been with the team because he doesn't want to play. That's a great locker room presence. James Harden's a great locker room presence. I feel like you're kind of mixing some combustible personalities with this one.
I can't disagree with you on that. It's just,
how out on the Nets are you going to be if they lose like 5 straight games during the year?
I wouldn't be out. I wouldn't be out at all. As long as they make the playoffs, they'll be fine.
I feel like, though, with this team, if it starts to go a little bad, it can get really ugly real quick just with Harden and Kyrie.
That's the biggest question mark to me, and it's not Harden or KD. It's Kyrie Irving, because we don't know what the hell he's doing. Is he even going to play this season?
He's doing his thing. He should just retire, just to be even more Kyrie-like. I can't think of a bigger Kyrie move than like retiring right after this trade. I was kind of shocked they didn't trade Kyrie. I don't know if he has a no-trade clause, but I would have tried to trade Kyrie and kept Karis LeVert and tried to keep some of that depth the Nets had. Did you have any other winners other than the Nets?
I would agree with you with the Houston Rockets as far as their head coach and the players, but as far as their future, I don't really know what it does for them for the future and winning a championship. They didn't really get better.
Was there ceiling on this team championship or bust with the Rockets team this year with Harden?
No.
That's the one thing I'll say. Like I told you, I watched them play the Mavs a week ago. And without Harden in the game, the ball's moving. You see Christian Wood getting involved. John Wall's passing it. And then Harden comes in and it stops. Let's just be real. Harden's an amazing player. But I wouldn't say he's fun to play with. If you've played basketball, me and Juan have both played a lot of basketball in our life. it's never fun when you just play with the guy who ISOs all game. It is
he's
not
a ball
fun.
stopper.
Yeah, and he's the biggest ball stopper in the NBA. I'm curious to see how Steve Nash implements him in the Nets offense. My losers for this trade, or anyone who respects James Harden. There's a lot of James Harden hatred on my side of things. The Nets depth, Joe Harris, and Victor Oladipo.
Joe Harris.
Joe Harris is gonna get 5 shots a game.
that's fucked up.
Why? How's that fucked up?
I get you because the ball with the whole ball movement thing, and there's only one ball, but that's tough. That's a tough look for my guy Joe Harris. They got guys
who need 60 shots.
I'm surprised he wasn't in this trade. I'm surprised no team wanted him.
I would have. That's what I'm saying. He's like a good 3-and-D guy. I know he's not an amazing defender, but he's a top 5 shooter in basketball.
Yeah. And so, just your quick, I want to hear just a quick little. We'll get into the Pacers and the Rockets with Oladipo a little bit more, but why Oladipo?
I mean, first of all, it solidifies what me and you have been saying, that the Pacers were done with him. It's not his team anymore. And I feel like just the best of Oladipo's behind him. And I feel like you wouldn't trade Oladipo if you thought he was going to hit that form he hit, in 2017, where he was going at it with LeBron in the first round. If you have any faith that guy's coming back, I don't know why you would trade him.
They did the right thing, and they pulled the trigger on him. Because a lot of teams in that situation with the whole Oladipo, because he's a free agent after this year.
Yeah, exactly. And Karis LeVert has 3 years left.
Exactly. And I prefer teams to pull the trigger a little bit quicker, just like in this situation, rather than just waiting and letting them walk, and you basically don't get nothing. And at best you get a sign-in trade, but you don't really get your value. They got a lot of value out of Oladipo, considering that he's a free agent.
Right now, I would put him and Karis LeVert as like a wash. Like, they're equally as good right now. Am I wrong in thinking that, or you're with me on that front?
No, I get what you're saying, and if they're a wash, whether you want to admit it or not, they have him under contract more. They don't have to worry about him for 3 years. With Oladipo, like I said, he was a free agent.
There's already talks that he wanted out too. Like, Miami was looking at him. He didn't want to stay in Indiana. And to be honest, if I was him and I saw it was Sabbonis' team now, I wouldn't want to stay there necessarily. And I think we forgot to put in the winners. Karis LeVert, big winner. He's going to be starting for sure from now on. It's going to be him, Sabbonis, Miles Turner, Malcolm Brogdon, and Warren. That's a feisty little team. I wouldn't say they're championship or bust, but they're feisty. They'll make some noise in the playoffs.
So those are your losers. Now, let's move on to the Nets. Let's do a full breakdown of the Nets. They have James Harden now. Obviously, the biggest question mark is the whole chemistry aspect. But one thing that stands out, like you said, they lost their depth. And they lost a center who me and you think that is better than DeAndre Jordan. So what do you see from the Nets going forward?
Can I read you the bench I looked up before we started the podcast? This was their depth chart. Bruce Brown, Tyler Johnson, Jeff Green, Timothy Leroux Cabre. He's a French 3-and-D guy. He's been in the league for like 6 years. Their backup center is Reggie Perry. I've never heard of Reggie Perry.
I haven't either.
So, what are they doing here? I mean, this screams to me they got to do really good on the buyout market. And I feel like the buyout market's going to be a little weird this year because of COVID and stuff. They went from having arguably the best bench in the league to the worst bench. Like, do any of those guys fill you with confidence coming off the bench? Like, hey, these guys can play in a playoff series.
Not one. Not even Tyler Johnson.
And let me just say one more thing. Their starting point guard is Kyrie Irving. We don't know where he is. We've already talked about it. Does that fill you with confidence? And he's injury prone. Like, you can't play KD 48 minutes a game.
Man, it's gonna be tough. You're just banging on KD and James Harden basically, and it is tough, man, because that was their biggest thing about them was the depth. They had so many players, and now looking back, that Dinwiddie injury is huge. It makes it even bigger.
Exactly, and it didn't include Landry Shamet because I think he's a little banged up right now. But even Shamet, like, he's not the type of guy to solidify a bench. He's solid. If they had Dinwiddie and Shamet coming out the bench, I'd feel a lot better. But like you said, Dinwiddie's out the whole year. It's kind of like you're starting 5, ride or die with them, but I don't think they can do it for 4 playoff rounds.
So the way that you're leaning, you don't think they got better with this trade?
I would say, man, it's tough because like you get a superstar, you get a top 15 player in basketball, James Harden, right? So you have 3 top guys, Durant, Harden, Kyrie. Let's just put them all top 10 guys. You have 3 top 10 guys. But like you got nobody coming off the bench. And DeAndre Jordan's not that good anymore. I want to say they got better, yeah, but I just question if this team can still compete. They got nobody. You can't play 5 guys all year, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road. I still have faith, though. I still have faith just off how great KD is. James Harden, yes, he is he is an asshole, and he just did what a lot of players are going to despise, okay? But at the end of the day, like I said about Harden, I think he'll be fine if he's winning and he likes his teammates, and he's going to come in with a whole new mindset, okay? And a lot of people thought when the Rockets traded for Chris Paul, that winded up working out. You know, people were saying, oh, there's only one ball to go around, but it worked with CP3. And yeah, CP3 is not the same kind of player as Kyrie Irving. He's more of a facilitator. Kyrie Irving's a lot more ball dominant. But hey, KD has no problem with passing the ball around. He comes from Golden State. So I don't think he has any problem running in a full offense.
He definitely got used to it of not dominating the ball in Golden State. And I was just thinking about this one. You were calling James Harden fat last night, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he's the new backup center for the Rockets.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, excuse me, for the Nets. He's the new backup center for the Nets. And,
oh, my goodness.
I mean, he does have experience guarding 5s. I mean, that's ridiculous if they do that. And they gave up their whole bench to get Harden. It kind of reminds me of what the Clippers did. Remember the Clippers that went, 6 games with Golden State the year KD got hurt? Mm-hmm. They had this solid bench. They had these fun upstart guys, and now it's all gone. And now there's pressure. There's no one who does the dirty. Like, who's the guy who does the dirty work for this team?
That's a great question. I don't know who it is.
I'll tell you who it's not. It's not Harden. It's not Kyrie. It's not Durant. It's not Joe Harris. Like what? Like Jeff Green? You betting on Jeff Green?
Maybe Jeff Green. I think that would be where my
but
money's at.
Okay, like the Lakers, man. They got Alex Caruso. They got Morris. Last year, Dwight Howard did the dirty work. I just don't see it with this team. And we'll go back to the Warriors. They always had guys do the dirty work. David West, Draymond Green. Like, I just don't see that guy on this team, and that guy's important.
Yeah, even the Clippers, they have a guy like Patrick Beverly. You look at the Heat, basically all their guys do the dirty work.
All their guys, yeah, I was going to say, who don't do the dirty work on the Heat.
Even the
like
Celtics,
Kelly Olynyk?
too. Yeah, even the Celtics, they got Theis.
They got Smart.
Yeah, Marcus Smart, too. He's definitely a gritty player.
Marcus Smart's one of the grittiest, and I'm looking at their roster. If Harden, Kyrie, or Durant gets hurt, it's over for them, right? They're done.
No. They still have the duo at the end of the day.
Yeah, but it's like 2 guys in Joe Harris.
Hey, we never even considered this. Are they done? Are they done trading? Maybe they still get rid of Kyrie?
No, I wouldn't mind that. I really wouldn't mind that. But, like, you got to get him to agree to, like, show up. Like, what's Kyrie's trade value right now?
Oh, man. I don't even know a team that I can think of to trade him to. I don't know.
I'm going to make you really happy. I'm going to make you super happy with this question. If Kyrie Irving was an NFL player, what could you get for him? Like a 3rd-round pick?
Yeah. Probably less.
You get like a 4th if he plays 10 games, and then it moves up to like a 3rd if he plays like enough snaps.
I think that's the biggest wild card. I don't think it's Harden. I don't think it's KD. It's definitely Kyrie Irving.
He's been good too on the court, but like his issue's never been on the court. It's always like that other stuff where like, oh, I just want to go to my wind farm and the earth's flat and all this other BS that he does. I'm not going to talk to the media. Like, my guy, like, you got to honor your contract at some point. But I think that's enough Nets talk. You want to go to the Rockets?
Yeah, so the Rockets are like you said, very happy that they're done with this whole Harden thing, and they end up getting a bunch of these draft picks. Do you think any of these draft picks are gonna really work out?
I think draft picks look better. Like, if someone was like, hey, I'm going to trade you 5 first-round picks, you're like, oh, that sounds great. And then if those draft picks are like Ben McLemore, Anthony Edwards, throw in like 3 more average guys, you're like, oh, well, that didn't really work out. So having the picks, like, or trading picks, I think is always better than trading a player. Because then when people see the pick, they're like, oh, that can be the next guy. Like, they can talk themselves into, oh, I'm going to hit this pick out of the park. And that rarely happens. Like, the first time Harden was traded, everyone was like, oh, they can hit those picks out of the park. It was Jeremy Lamb and Steven Adams. Was that worth Harden? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people see those first-round picks and they assume they're going to hit them.
No, and the percentage is more likely you're not going to hit them. And I'm happy for anyone on the team because, like I said, watch them. They play together, and then Harden comes in and it's 30-foot shot, jacked up, no one passing. I like the backcourt of Wall and Oladipo if they can both stay healthy and kind of get back to their pre-injury form. That's a dynamic backcourt, is it not? What, top 10 in the league? Top 5?
I don't know how it works though. I don't know. Yeah, on paper it looks good, but I don't know how it translates on the court.
Well, John Wall at his core has always been more of a passing guy, I would say. And Oladipo's more of the scorer, so maybe they can work something out. I'm kind of curious to see how Houston's going to play. For 4 years, we've watched James Harden dribble the air out of the ball. It's going to be nice to watch them run offense, run sets, have everyone touch the ball.
Are they a playoff team? Are you that confident in them?
Oh, I'd say they could sneak into the 8th seed. Maybe
really?
tournament.
You're that confident?
I'm pretty confident, man. I really am. I've liked what I've seen from John Wall. Christian Wood's good. If you could just learn how to guard anybody. DeMarcus Cousins was an all-star. No, I'm just kidding. Come on. DeMarcus Cousins is okay. PJ Tucker's done. Like, I wouldn't keep him. He doesn't even want to be there. They haven't honored his contract. They don't want to pay him. And has there been a guy who's done more crap for his team than PJ Tucker the last few years?
No, he's the definition of dirty, doing the dirty work kind of guy.
I would have loved if the Nets got PJ Tucker in the trade too. I would have been like, ooh, that's nice. That is really good.
You know he could play center.
Him and Harden, man. Switch those 4 or 5s right there.
You would think that the Nets will learn their lesson with all these draft picks getting let go. You know what happened last time this happened.
It's too bad. Like, I kind of hope it happens again just so it can happen again. But that's kind of mean, right? Because they got screwed with that trade. But, like, they're not trading for 2 guys who are, like, 33 years old, 34?
Yeah.
It's never easy to trade a superstar, right? But he kind of forced their hand. I know superstars before have forced their hand, but was this like let's think about it. Dwight wanted to be traded. Anthony Davis wanted to be traded. Carmelo wanted to be traded. Have we seen a guy force the team's hand as much as Harden did?
Not like this. Anthony Davis is pretty close, but I
don't think it's close, bro. I don't think it's close because he didn't not show up to camp.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. But the only difference between AD and Harden was AD just used more of his team around him and his agent to leak out stuff on purpose. All that stuff that was coming out about Anthony Davis was all by AD's camp. It wasn't actually real.
Oh, for sure. The agencies are playing a huge factor in NBA. I don't think most fans realize that. CAA, Clutch Sports, teams do agents favors to land players like AD. That's how it happens. It's like a bunch of backroom deals, I'm sure. Like, we're never going to know, but I would assume that stuff happens.
Yeah, and then on the Harden side, this one was just out there. It was public. It was coming out of his mouth. It was bad. It was just a really bad look. And I can't remember a player doing it like this. This is bad. This is the worst I've seen.
I would also add, I don't think the Pelicans really did a good job for AD in building a good team. The Rockets built their team for James Harden. They did everything. And I think that's maybe what plays into it for me of how can you act like that when this team has done damn near everything for you?
They really did. They did everything for him. They built the team around him. They got big time free agents. They got Chris Paul.
They traded for his boy Russ.
Yeah, they traded for Russ. They got CP3 out of there because he didn't like Chris Paul.
It is totally acceptable if you want to be traded. You do not have to not show up. talk shit about your teammates. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line too, especially with your teammates, especially with some of those guys on that team, especially a guy like PJ Tucker and Daniil House. A lot of those
Eric
guys
Gordon.
went to war with you guys. Yeah, Gordon too. Those guys went to war with you, man. And this is the way you're going to treat them?
And to be honest, he didn't show up in a lot of big games for Houston.
Yeah, we all know that. We all know that side of it.
I don't think anyone knows. I think people give him a pass for some odd reason. I don't understand it. We watched Game 7 against the Warriors. He didn't show up. Remember when Durant didn't play and it was just Curry this last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah.
He didn't show up that game. Thunder, Lou Dort had more points than him. He made one play at the end and we gave him a pass for it.
Oh, yeah, the block.
Yeah, and what was the series you said? The Spurs?
The Spurs series.
Oh, without Kawhi.
Yeah, without Kawhi. Yeah.
Come on. Any Harden fan listening, give me one playoff moment he's had with the Rockets. I'll wait.
Yeah, because all the big plays were done by Chris Paul that year that they actually had a chance of taking down the Warriors.
Exactly, and I think they would have without the injury, but I don't want to live in a world of ifs, ands, and buts. So there's two other teams in this trade. Do you want to talk about them for a few minutes? Because they were small-time players. They didn't get anything big.
No, but one thing that's interesting is obviously the Pacers roster. Like you said, I do agree with that. They did get better with LeVert, with the swap.
He probably doesn't have the talent of Oladipo, like a healthy Oladipo, but just the fit. And, you don't have to worry now. It's like, oh, this guy, it was his team. He doesn't really want to be here. Or he's leaked shit out that says, I don't want to be here. Now it's like, hey, let's just be Indiana. Like, they've taken some strides. Miles Turner's looked good this year. Sabbonis is having a hell of a year.
This is Sabbonis'
what
team.
This team does. Oh, 100%. Every possession runs through him. I was watching their game last night against the Warriors. They're such a fun team to watch, man. Like, the Holidays were doing good. Their coach really has, transformed them. I know it's only 10 games, but I got to give credit where credit's due. I'm not going to say his name because I can't pronounce it. Bro, why does the NBA have so many difficult names, bro?
I know the Thunder's coach is pretty hard to say, too.
Man, dude, in NFL, it's like, you hear it and it's like, oh, yeah, it's easy. It's never hard in the NFL. I'm kind of surprised Miles Turner wasn't involved in this trade. I mean, this is a guy who's had trade rumors for 4 years? 3 years?
Ever since he got that contract.
I don't know if he's earned that contract, but he's a solid player. I mean, I would have liked if the Nets got him or something. Like, they need another big. Maybe throw in Andre Drummond. Even I don't know, the salaries won't work. And I know Andre Drummond gets 20 and 20 a game, so that obviously means he's good.
Man, it would have looked nice if Joe Harris would have went to one of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Cavs roster. They got Kevin Love, Andre Drummond, JaVale McGee, Larry Nance, Jared Allen, Thon Maker.
Jesus.
All center lineup? Are you
That's
in?
that big boy lineup.
Bro, who's running point in that lineup? K-Love or Nance? I think
I'll
Nance
give it
will
to Thon.
point.
Let Thon run point.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Thon the God. Like, Cavs, you didn't give up anything, really, and you got Jared Allen, who's going to be their big of the future. I don't think they're going to keep Drummond. He's a free agent. Can I add to losers for this trade just Kevin Love's contract and the Cavs management for giving him that contract? Or is that too old to just put in there?
That's an outdated loser.
I don't understand what the Cavs are doing in, the front court aspect. I feel like they're kind of in a weird spot where, they kind of still have Kevin Love, Drummond, and they have, the two young guards, and they don't really know what to do.
It would have been interesting to see if maybe, I don't know if the salaries match up that well and if it was possible. But one thing that came to my head right now was maybe Kevin Love for Kyrie Irving? Get Kyrie back on the Cavs?
Just so what, he could demand another trade. I mean, he does want his own team, right? You would have to give
Let
him,
him die
Kevin
in
Love
Cleveland.
Cleveland's a good spot. Cleveland's like what Buffalo used to be, right? In the NFL.
Yeah.
Maybe Kyrie. Well, maybe Kyrie's like the Antonio Brown of the NBA right now. Maybe that's the new comparison. Change his number to what, 17? Get a blonde mustache.
Yeah, going back on the Nets, because obviously, I mean, the Cavs, we just talked about them. They got 5 centers. They're not that good. It's gonna be a long time till they're good.
I might need to add for winners of trades anyone who loves watching centers. because this Cavs team, oh boy.
Yeah, 90s and all the 80s centers are salivating at the mouth. They're like, go watch the Cavs, man.
Shaq
Too
loves
bad
his
none of those
team.
guys are post-up players. So
Yeah, Drummond post up did not make shots.
stop. But yeah, going back on the Nets, that whole Ben Simmons and Philadelphia 76ers rumor was all smoke, wasn't it?
I think it would have been wild for the Rockets to do a trade with the 76ers. I know Daryl Morey's there, but the owner doesn't like Daryl Morey. I know Daryl Morey loves James Harden, but look, the Rockets are being shown in China again. The 76ers have not been shown in China again. So clearly, the Rockets lost a lot of money when that happened. I know me and you talked about it a lot. That's a big deal not to be shown in China, the biggest populated country. Probably a little redundant saying that, but I don't think the owners liked him. He's not going to trade James Harden to the 76ers.
Yeah, that would have been crazy because honestly, the Rockets would have got more value if they would have got Ben Simmons rather than Oladipo.
Yeah, and they were throwing in, what's his name, Tyrell Maxey.
Yeah, the guy who just had a big game out of
Yeah,
Kentucky,
like,
right?
bro, it's like if you traded Shake Milton after he had that 140-point game. Like, come on. I got to commend him, though, for trying to sell high, bro. He's like,
Sell them while they're high.
I know, or some Bill Belichick shit.
But yeah, this. Do you think there was any other deal on the table that was better than this one? Do you think they took the absolute best deal?
I think they did. I think the James Harden stuff, the locker room, the way he acts, would rub a lot of teams wrong. Like, if Jokic and Murray don't know him, it's going to be like, wow, who the F is this guy? But, like, Durant knows him. Kyrie knows him. They've all been around the block a long time. So I think that's the best trade they were going to get, other than potentially anything with Simmons, and it would have been better in my estimation. I'm with you on that one. But I don't think they really had a big offer, like a real offer for him.
Yeah, do you think they would have got more value if they traded him in the beginning of the season, or did they do right and wait?
I don't think it impacted it as much, truthfully, because this is a haul. This is a big. I don't really see like a month ago or 2 months ago it being even more.
Are there any teams who weren't in the trade who are losers? Maybe a team that would have looked good with Harden?
No, I don't think so.
The Celtics, maybe? Celtics, who's another contender out there? Maybe the Nuggets? Did the Nuggets miss out on an opportunity?
Maybe, but I still feel like the locker room stuff would have ruined it for them. And do you think Harden's value was increased during the season, or it decreased from when we said to trade him initially? So I'm asking your question back to you.
I think after last night, it really decreased. And it's funny saying that because it happened right after. But throughout the season, I don't think it dropped or went higher. I think a lot of people just knew he was unhappy, and last night was just the nail in the coffin. Something had to be done.
Does Harden's jersey get retired in Houston following this? I think it does, but they're going to have to wait like 10 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Does James Harden get a farewell video or like a thank you video from Houston? I would be like, fuck no. I'm just going to say Dwight Howard got one for 1 year in Atlanta.
Wow. That's crazy. Oh, man. You know, Orlando, they didn't give him no love. They get Tobias Harris's number real quick.
That's another question. Does 13 get given away in the next year
in
or two?
Houston?
Yeah.
Look, if you go in with those intentions, the whole retire the number and the whole tribute video is out of the question. You give that man, any person on that team, 13.
I'm kind of hoping someone wears it.
Oh, my goodness. Who are you most excited to see?
I'm excited to see the Rockets. I'm sure you're going to have a different answer than me. I want to see this Rockets team actually do some shit on offense. I'm tired of watching the air be dribbled out of the ball. So I'm excited for the Rockets.
I get you with John Wall's looked good in spurts. He's had a couple moments this year, but I'm excited to see the Nets. It's going to be showtime. I really want to see what the fuck Kyrie does. Dude, you get paid millions of dollars. Dog, go play. It's your job, for Christ's sake. I just want to say this. We all know, yes, he is a person just like us, blah, 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 blah. All right? But just because you're an athlete doesn't give you the right to just not come to work. That's what he's doing. This is his job, okay? He signed a contract. He's getting paid millions of dollars to go work and do a job, and that is play for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, hey Kyrie, man, if you don't want that contract, my guy, you can come work where I work, and I'll play for the Nets. I'm willing to do it. I'll show up every day with a smile. I'll sage up the other team's arena. I'll do it all. I'm going to add the final winner into the trade. You ready?
Let's hear it.
March 3rd, the Rockets are playing the Nets in Houston. We need more vaccine right now. We need to get a way to get fans into that stadium. I need to see that game. I might have to go there and watch it. I will boo hard, and I'm not even a Rockets fan or a Nets fan.
Does the sound guy do boos if there's no fans?
Oh, you have to. You got to, pump it in the way the Colts used to pump in sound in the old dome.
Oh, my goodness.
Look, if he has – I'm doing it right now. If he has a video, is it over or under a minute?
Under.
And what's the best moment in that video?
I don't even know.
Is it them getting out of the first round, the second round?
The block from last year? When he first got to Houston, there were some good moments. I remember when he first got to Houston and they had Jeremy Lin. It was rush hour, dog. Show some rush hour highlights with Jeremy Lin.
Rush hour? That would have been a great name for the backcourt.
No, that's what they called them. Rush hour.
Shut up. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, when Jeremy Lin signed with the Rockets and he was with James Harden, they were called Rush Hour. But they suck, so it didn't stick.
Yo, can I put together my Harden lowlight video? Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Damian Lillard hitting that 3 on them in the first round. Chris Paul pulling his hamstring. Harden in the strip club. Any picture will do. Anything else? Harden not passing the ball to wide open people. Oh, remember when Harden didn't play defense for 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, put some of those in there.
I wanna add. I know it happened when he was in OKC, but I would like to add just the elbow from Ron Artest. Just add that in there, bro.
They can Photoshop the Rockets GM.
Oh,
or the owner.
God.
That's hilarious, man. Dude. This is the big trade. This was a superstar. So who's next? That's the last question. Who's the next superstar if you're going to bet? Quick answer. Bradley Beal. That's mine.
Man, Bradley Beal. Zach LaVine, maybe?
I said superstar.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Okay, we'll go Zach LaVine. Final answer. Kobe White.
Kobe White, stop. No, Bradley Beal needs to get traded. Hopefully we do a breaking news just like this one with Bradley Beal. Get the hell out of Washington. Get out of the team with Russell Westbrook. It's no good, bro.
Are you saying Russ is hard to play with?
Yes. You look at everyone that he's played with. They always suck that year that they play with them.
Can I add one more winner? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Anyone who thought the backcourt of Russ and Harden wouldn't work should be a winner for this trade. Because that was such a joke and anyone thought it could work.
Oh, my goodness. Well, with that said, we thank you guys for listening to this special breaking news podcast. Well, this is fresh off the books, or this is fresh off the docks. It's hot, bro. It's really hot. This is 2 hours. 2 hours after this dropped, okay? This is fresh. This is complete reactions. We'll see how we feel about it the next time we talk some NBA and see what we think after we see a couple of games from these teams, especially with the Nets. But we'd like to thank you guys. Make sure to follow us on all streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Make sure on YouTube, man, drop a like, subscribe, turn on the notifications bell. It really helps us out, man. And then on Instagram and Twitter, we're on there also. We're always posting daily content, mostly on Instagram. But make sure to go follow us. That is at Max_Juancast.
Man, this was shocking, to say the least. It happened quick. I didn't think it was going to take that fast to get James Harden traded. Did you?
No. I seen the whole Philly thing. I thought it was going to be about a day or two till it happened.
I did too.
And it happened fast. You gotta love it.
I'm so sorry, bro. Can I add one more winner to my winners?
Go, last one.
Brooklyn strip clubs.
Are they
a huge
open?
I hope so. And one more loser, Rockets, Houston strip clubs.
Oh, yeah, they're losing business.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, it's going to put people who are going to starve out there, man.
That's so fucked up.
But hey, everyone, thank you guys for listening to us, putting up with us. We love you guys. I know you guys probably love James Harden. I'm not the biggest fan, but we can always be friends. James Harden doesn't have to ruin our friendship. And this podcast, I actually have faith in it now after this whole thing. I think we can compete.
Oh, yeah. Come on. We're not the Houston Rockets, all right? We competing, all right?
That's the old them. New year, new them.
Hey, guys, thank you for listening. Hey, this is our 20th podcast. 20.
Man, we're almost legal to drink, bro. We're almost legally drink as a podcast.
Oh, man. With that said, I'm out, man.
Everybody stay safe out there. So I'm out.
We'll see you Friday for the pick'ems. Peace.
Juan's not going to do good.